Have you ever spent hours out in the water, casting again and again, only to come home empty-handed? Or maybe you've hooked trout before, but they always seem to get away right at the last second. Every angler knows that frustration. You're doing everything right, yet you just seem to never land the big one. That's exactly why in this video, I'm breaking down the 10 tips guaranteed to help you catch massive trout. These aren't gimmicks or lucky breaks. They're proven strategies that seasoned anglers use to consistently pull in trophy-sized trout. By the end, you'll have a game plan that actually works the next time you hit the water. The first tip that I personally use to consistently catch trophy-sized trout is a 2.5-inch Rapala. Fish the Rapala upstream to downstream or across stream. Avoid downstream to directly upstream. It hasn't been as effective. The reason that it works so well is because it resembles a small fish. The speed of the retrieve mimics a darting fish trying to avoid a predator, monster trout that's chasing it for food. You can make the lure work better by experimenting with it. Twitch it in the feeding lanes. I personally had a legitimate 30-inch trophy trout grab my Rapala while testing this retrieve. Unfortunately, I pulled the lure out of its mouth without hooking or landing the fish. Shortly after I lost the fish, my dad brought me a 24-inch trophy brown trout that he caught below the waterfall which I was fishing above. He caught the trout on a 2.5-inch Rapala. You're going to love tip number 2 if you fish clear water. In clear water, I prefer using gold or silver dimpled blade with gold or silver body. To provoke the big ones, make sure to use the 1/4 ounce Panther Martin Deluxe fly spinner. Trout love bait fish and bugs. The fly on the spinner's treble hook is a bug pattern with similar colors to the bug that it's resembling. The spinner is exceptional for triggering the biggest fish to strike on very bright sunny days. Clear water can be challenging, but I like clear water fishing best. I'm able to watch every cast from when it hits the water to all the way back to me. Watch for follows, and if the blade of the spinner is spinning and working correctly. Mainly watch the spinner so you can see the fish as it strikes. When fishing clear water, make sure to wear drab colors as to not alert the trout. Wade as lightly as possible and stay low if you see a fish. When using this lure, don't directly cast downstream, then reel back upstream. This retrieve makes the lure look unnatural and the fish is uninterested. Clear water fishing with these type of spinners is best in sunny conditions. The dimples on the spinner blades reflect the sun's light and rays in many different angles and direction, stimulating the fish to react. To make the spinner work better, you must determine the correct pace to retrieve it. This takes a little time to perfect. Practice every time you get the chance, and when you get it figured out, you'll be rewarded with more and bigger fish. I find it most effective casting upstream close to the bank. The fish sees something drop into its field of vision like a bug falling into the river off the bank. Immediately the spinner darts with the current, giving the fish an instant to react, or they miss the opportunity to eat. So even if they are hungry, this technique triggers them to react and strike. Before we get into the next 3 tips, which are game changers if you fish rivers or streams, make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss weekly fishing guides that help you catch more and bigger fish. A Panther Martin hammered blade 1/4 ounce spinner is great for any type of water conditions for catching trophy trout. This is tip number 3. The reflection of the blade and sonic waves emitted by the blade are the main reasons why this is the preferred lure to use when fishing for trophy trout. The sonic blade sound puts off a frequency that seems to trigger fish to strike regardless of whether it's hungry or not. Avoid reeling the reel in too fast or too slow. Doing either one makes it look unnatural to the trout and they will ignore your presentation. I make my own spinners based off of the spinner. But I add flies, rubber skirts to the treble hooks to increase my catch rates, making this. Okay, here are the top ones here. A Real Joe's fly spinners. You can see double hooks on them. And here's the imitations that I made. Some other variations. There's a rubber skirt. There's the flashaboo, that's very important, key. The hammered blades, you notice different body styles, different colors. The tips get better as we go. The fourth tip is a game changer for sure. 4. Always fish upstream. Fishing exclusively upstream will improve your consistent success catching trophy trout. Fishing upstream has many advantages. Alright, anyway, so there's your busted up spinner type. Oh, there's one. Look at that one. He's gonna get off because I never even got him hooked. See? Well, there you go. I'm screwing around and this thing gets right under the log right there. It's crazy. So that is a beauty. Look at the colors on this guy. Beautiful fish. The most important reason why fishing upstream works is it doesn't spook the trout. Trout face upstream in the current. When fishing upstream, they have much less of a chance to see you are approaching. In turn, your presentation looks completely natural, which triggers a normal response from the fish to eat. Fishing upstream doesn't stir up the silt and sediment towards the fish that you're trying to catch. Dirty water makes it harder to see your lure, along with alerting the trout that something's wrong. It is most effective in fast water because it gives a trout a split second to decide whether or not to strike. Keep your retrieval hand positioned by the reel to immediately start retrieving the spinner to make the blade spin properly. The next big tip is a huge deciding factor in determining if you catch more consistent and bigger trophy trout. The number 5 tip is very important, if not one of the most important determining factors in finding and catching trophy trout. Finding the right location of where a trophy trout lives, hunts, and rests. Yes, large trout do forage and migrate up and down streams throughout the year. Does not mean that when you find the lair of a huge trout, it will be empty when the fish moves up or down. Another dominant monster will use the spot again. My most successful number 1 spot to find the biggest trophy trout from any stream or river is an undercut bank. The main reason why these fish love the undercut bank is because it gives them a shelter from predators, mainly the birds of prey above. It's used as an ambush point to easily grab an unsuspecting bait fish as they try to swim by. I like these little tufts that stick out as shelter. I don't know, dude. I don't know why you wouldn't be, but oh shit! Nice one. Whew. Jumped in, jumped out. Try not to make the mistake of overlooking the edge of the banks, assuming it's too shallow to be undercut. I've made the mistake of passing up a perfectly disguised den with the undercut bank having 3 to 5 feet of shelter depth. When I fished that river again, I hooked my personal best trophy trout that I've ever had the pleasure of fighting and then snapping off. It came under the same 5-foot deep undercut bank which I missed the fish the first time. The fish was all 30 inches, swimming against strong current and saves valuable energy which gives the fish a chance to rest. The biggest fish have the best locations in the stream. Fishing close to the undercut banks is always a very effective tactic to catch a monster. If you're fortunate or good enough to find these types of structure habitats, you'll find that it's most effective fishing them early in the morning and just before dark. However, I did hook a 30-foot gigantic trophy wild brown trout in the middle of an extremely hot, sunny day. Since you've made it this far, keep watching because it only gets better all the way to the end of the video. The number 6 tip is something that I suggest you at least give a try. Try building your own spinners. By building your own spinners, you can replicate the bait fish that trophy trout eat daily. The first thing that you must determine is what color to use. Not all color sizes and variations are consistently effective. Don't worry, I've narrowed it down to a couple of basics. Gold, silver, and black are the best colors. You can change the body, blade, style, and the weight of your spinners. Experiment, have some fun, create new great types of spinners which might be better than the ones that they put out on the market. You can avoid, there's a slight learning curve when you're building your own spinners. After you purchase the jig tool used to bend the wire into the base of the spinner, don't make the wire too long or too short. Use solid beads to guarantee your blades to spin. Otherwise, have fun by experimenting with different body types and weights until you find the best results. The most consistent colors for catching trophy trout that I've found personally are gold blade with a gold body and a silver blade with silver body combos. The silver seems to catch more brookies, the gold seems to catch more browns. The reason why these two colors work the best is because the gold resembles a yellow sculpin and the silver mimics a silver minnow. You may find success with different color spinners on other streams with different food sources. The most effective time to use these spinners is always. I've consistently caught my biggest trout on Panther Martin type spinners. The huge trout that I have caught on these spinners range from 17 inches to 24.5 inches up to 30. I make my spinners more desirable by adding flies and rubber leg skirts to the treble hooks. Now that you've made it through my bread and butter tips for consistently catching trophy trout tactics, the final 4 will take you to the next level of catching trophy trout. The gulp minnow. Do I need to say more? It is very versatile and lifelike. You can float, dead drift, twitch, drag, a sinker, or reel in like a spinner. Avoid casting these fake minnows into heavily wooded brush piles as to not get snagged. The reason that it works so good is it has a scent, soft texture, look-alike appearance. My most successful technique is by simply drifting it with a spinner upstream to downstream. The best size that I've found is 2.5 inch. I use the emerald, the black and white, and the black and gold shiner. Almost there, so make sure you watch until the end when I reveal the all-time best tip. Number 8, try using the Joe's Fly spinner. It's the best of both worlds. On the days when the fish are less aggressive, they nail the fly. Other times they slam the spinner. The fly part of the lure has a stinger hook trailer that makes sure the fish stays on. Try not to use these spinners in fast water. They're too small to stay down in the water column. They could improve these lures by making a heavier, larger spinner for castability, It's very effective with a super slow retrieve. The blade design works so well that you can reel slowly without the blade stopping. Use the 1/4 ounce lure, which is the biggest spinner currently offered. So I try to build my own spinners like this Joe's Fly, maybe up to 1/2 ounce. So you have made it this far. You deserve to hear the next to last crucial tip for finding trophy trout. Number 9, temperature. Temperature is vital in locating the section of water that trophies live and thrive in. Temperature is imperative to find trout, period. 45 is not good. So hopefully it increases at least 1 degree. Probably will by daylight time. Not the 20 I'm looking for, but still might get them. You never know. Oh, look at this one. Wow. Oh, that's a nice one too. Right into the net. He goes. I'm starting to pound the shit out of them, dude. For 13. Can't do any pictures with myself because I don't have my camera. Okay. There you go. That's a really nice one too. Oh, he's 14. Look at that one. The problem with trying to find them in lower sections is you may not find trout at all. The problem with trying to find trout on lower sections of rivers, which are usually warmer, you might not find any trout at all. If you do take the chance, you could be handsomely rewarded with some real monsters. If the water temperature is too high, there will be no fish or very few fish. If the water temperature is too low, they're lethargic and not easily provoked into hitting the lure. The sweet spot is about 50 to 65 degrees with a gradual increase in temperature. The trout is cold-blooded, and the body temperature of the fish is the same as the water temperatures. A temperature increase raises the trout's metabolism, which causes the body to burn more energy. In turn, they must eat more food to keep up. It triggers them to feed and is the best time to fish. Using temps can help you find trophy trout in marginally unclassified water where the rough fish live, which is their food. The lower sections of non-classified trout waters are some of the best places to find trophy trout. The temperatures may be borderline even to their own mortality. The warmer water has less oxygen. The bait fish that huge trout need to survive are found in these warmer sections of rivers. The best time to try this tip is in early spring. I tried for years unsuccessfully until 2022. It finally paid off in one day. I landed a 17 and a half, a 19, and a 19 and a half inch monster browns on a 1.47 mile section of river. I have repeated a few more successful outings with more very large trophy trout on the same section of river. Well, finally you made it to the end. You deserve to hear the number 1 best tip for consistently catching trophy trout. Any guesses? Fish trout at night in complete darkness. It's not for the faint of heart. The biggest predator trout comes out at night to feed. It's the most difficult type of trout fishing, but can be the most rewarding if you have the drive and you can control your mind from freaking out. Avoid fishing deep holes at night. The trophy trout waits to ambush any suspecting prey in shallow water. So fish in the rapids. Honestly. The reason they feed so aggressively at night is that other predators can't see them in the dark. Another reason is because small animals scurry around in the dark to find food themselves. Sometimes they end up falling into the water. Some of the strangest food items that we have found in the trout's stomach is snakes, bats, and of course mice. Wear a headlamp with UV red light to navigate to the spot, and then lights out. Keep all the lights off until you hook one. I use my fly rod with extra large mouse patterns. Make sure to splash the fly on the surface, then strip the fly in while making as much commotion as possible. This gets the fish's attention to attack. If you like this video, you'll love the fishing session I had on a nice fall Wisconsin day, and here's the link.